Good morning, dear friends. You and I are invited to a new day, a new beginning every day. Every day in our lives, God calls us for a new beginning. And though we're a little earlier today for our morning prayer, but it's always a moment for us to reset, to recharge, and go in the right direction. Emmanuel will teach us through the hands of Chico Xavier. Blessed hands. In the book, The Mustard Seed, translated as we speak, he has a chapter that is short but talks about the comforts of life, perks in life. And there was a man named Claudio that talked to a young lawyer who wanted to join the group. He said, "We're building a new world." And the young lawyer wanted to know more about the thoughts of the Christ in terms of the comforts of life. And he said, "I don't remember any passage in the New Testament that talks about the ideas and opinions of the Divine Master in that regard." The teacher started informing Jesus was against the unacceptable system of privileges. But then the young man said, "Where can we find such conclusions?" From Jesus. The educator took the New Testament and narrated an expressive story about a greedy man in chapters 19 to 21 in the Gospel of Luke. And Jesus told them the parable of the rich man who had produced extraordinarily and thought for himself, "Where am I going to keep all this harvest? Should I put my barns down and build larger ones to keep everything in? And then I'll tell myself, oh, you have a lot saved here. You can rest, eat, drink, and enjoy." But God, said Jesus, at the same time, said to that rich man, "You're insane. This night, this very night, they will take your soul, and what will serve everything you have accumulated?" And the teacher concluded. In this simple parable, Jesus taught us what he thought about the comforts, the perks in life. The rich man was surprised by the abundant production of his lands. There was so much that he wanted to build greater barns so he could accumulate all he had. He already had what he needed. Why should he keep the excess, the superfluous? Don't we find in that passage Jesus' recommendations regarding the perks and the comforts in life, in modern life? The young lawyer who was accompanying the conclusion and the reading of the text paid close attention and stayed in profound silence. And that's the story of humanity to date. People who are dreaming of their retirement so they can rest. Rest is not a problem. The problem is that they're not thinking of others who have none. They want to accumulate what they don't need. They accumulate much, afraid of losing something, so they give all the excuses. And I know many cases. I know cases of people who planned on their retirement to enjoy, to rest, or they say, now I'm going to work for the general good. It's precisely what Jesus said. God came and said, enough, and took their lives. Why? Because we have not come here to enjoy life on earth. Yes, we enjoy life in its greatest meaning, but we have not come here to travel just because, to be by the beach just because, to have a home here, there, and everywhere just because. No. Everything we do and we have must have a purpose, and a purpose that is higher than us. In this message today, you and I are to rid ourselves of illusions, because time and again, the parable of the master comes true in the daily lives of everyone we meet. Yes, when we become older, we feel like resting more, and that's natural. But that doesn't mean we're going to be resting without producing anything. In Spiritism, we have lots of examples from Kardec to Amélie Boudet, his wife, who worked until the last forces of their body. Divaldo Franco and Chico Xavier, and many others, who maximized the time they had in their hands, disciplining their emotions, their goals, knowing that this life is so passing that we can't enjoy what we're not supposed to enjoy here. Food for thought, friends. The greatest perk of life is to do the good. When we start enjoying that, everything else becomes a natural consequence of it. Let us pray to calibrate ourselves and ask God to deliver us from the temptations of illusions, of the comforts and the perks in life. Dear God, we can almost recall the reincarnatory plan in our lives. When deeply repentant of the wrongdoings of the past, we asked for hardships, challenges, learning lessons, and now that we're here, we want to avoid everything, and we think we're being punished, completely forgetful of our previous lives. Thank you for allowing us to forget, but do not let us fall again in the illusions of life. May we daily remind ourselves of those who suffer more than we do. May we daily remind ourselves of those who don't have a helping hand, and may we be the one reaching out, going their way. We don't want to do anything great, but simply to fulfill your will, which is the greatest thing. What do we want? We want to want what you want for us. That's our daily dream, that we find ourselves in synchronicity with you. May today be the day when we rid ourselves of illusions and march towards the joy of being useful, laborious, fraternal, and in solidarity to one another. We feel your presence. We feel your guidance. And we visualize all of us in the circle of prayer, receiving the shower of your healing light. And it spreads itself to the world, enveloping our loved ones and those not so loved yet in loving kindness. Thank you so much for the much you grant us today and always, and so be it. It is a joy to be together, to learn with the good spirits, and to recalibrate ourselves to the north of our lives. Today, let us observe what is superfluous. Let us give it away, and let us keep planning on helping without fear. No fear-based decisions. We trust in God, and so we are free to think of others more than ourselves because God takes care of us. Thank you, friends, for joining us. Thank you, Nora. Dear Narciso, a big hug to all of you, and see you tomorrow in another morning prayer here at Cardiac Radio, where we're always nourishing our souls.